All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber die trying. You see the thumbnail. Generation X parenting. Um, so, a lot of times we blame baby boomers for the current conditions of society, right? But then we say these kids are out of pocket, these kids are out of line, something's wrong with these kids. And millennials and Gen Z, you would say those are the children of Gen X. Now, the interesting thing about it is, so Gen X would be the latchkey kids, right? The kids who parents were working, crack epidemic, um, going between analog and modern technology, and the kids that knew the old school and the new school, right? But the kids didn't get those lessons, and so you got latchkey kids who, in some ways, don't trust their own kids to be by themselves. You got kids who grew up playing video games but did other things, who kids are just video gamers. You got kids who were active. Now you were kids who were active. But now we have kids who are obese. And the question is, how good is Generation X parenting doing? You got kids, when you were kids, rather, when we were kids, a lot of us grew up in the hood. A lot of us took our kids away out of the hood. So what's up with these kids? You know, these kids, we used to cut grass. We used to take, bike ride. We used to, do little odd jobs, carry groceries. We quote unquote had manners, even when they were saying we was out of our minds, right? And our kids are not doing those things. You don't see kids cutting grass. You don't see kids uh, fixing cars or learning how to fix cars. You don't see that anymore. So who's not teaching it? Generation X, right? So you would say Gen X parenting. Then you got the whole drug culture. You got the when we were kids, you didn't like drug addicts, but now millennials and Gen Z are just a bunch of drug addicts. So you wanted to be a hustler. Our generation wanted to be hustlers, but our kids is addicts. Generation X parenting, right? And then taking into consideration that a lot of us, we have humble beginnings. And when we got no meant no, and when we go in this store, you can't get nothing. But are we doing that with our kids? They trying to get everything. The other thing, maybe because of being latchkey kids, we had to learn adult lessons fast. Now kids aren't learning these lessons for some odd reason. So who's not teaching it? How is it not being down? How is it not being passed down from one generation to the next? And I think about it because when we say Generation X, it's like the middle. It's the middle between the baby boomers and the millennials, and we had to deal with all the failures of baby boomers, and millennials got credit for a lot of the successes in some extent, but Generation X was like, it's like a sacrificial lamb of a generation, but that goes with the parenting also. So part of this, trying to live your best life, is it because you as a latchkey kid, uh, you were you were grown beyond before it was your time, and now our kids seem to be um, not grown enough when it's their time. You get what I'm saying? Because you got Gen X people, grandparents. I'm at the end of Gen X because I was born at the end of '79. So these things that we talk about with millennials and Gen Z is like, well, here's a problem. Who's parenting them now? Because I grew, my parents were baby boomers, but like a lot of us, I was raised by my grandparents. So, And our parents ain't helping us raise no kids. So, you know, so now you got a mix of all of those things together, but how successful are the kids coming up out of that? And are we giving them the game and they're not listening? Or are we just not giving them the game, period? You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't get which one it is. Because some people say, yeah, we give them the game, but they hard-headed. But see, when we was kids, hard-headed make us soft. You know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, I could say we were accustomed to strict parenting and strict discipline and structure. It seems like as Gen X parents, we're anti-structure and discipline, which that plays out in the millennials and Gen Z. And you know, now with the times changing, where does this lead to? You know, I don't know if I don't know because did we try to correct and create something new and overcorrect? Same thing like the Tamika Mallory thing, right? She's Gen X. She had the Cadillac commercial about just empowering black women, but she has a son. So how does that affect? You see, like how did that affect parenting? Like that's Gen X parenting is like, you know what, the boys, whatever, y'all just boys. We're going. How did that affect the generation? Because it looks like we talk about the baby boomers failing. It looks like we failing too. So that's just my thoughts. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. And you could do that the easy way or the hard way. Don't make me know. Never mind. Peace.